The Martin Lindstrom Video Report. New and innovative ways of building brands.
Does all this stuff you're looking at right now behind me, does it work or not? Well, if you should believe the price tag to advertise up there, or the price tag to advertise at the Olympic, the recent Olympic in China, you should think the answer was yes. But now when a recent research study was revealing that actually the answer was no, considering the fact that 60% of Chinese people thought that in fact the key sponsor was Pepsi and not Coca-Cola, it leaves you wondering, what is this all about? Is it just a very big stunt of the past that sponsorship works, or is it in fact just made in a different and unprofessional way and things has to change? We wanted to find out, and that's the reason why Project Biology scanned sponsorships across the world using neuromarketing and the most sophisticated brain research technique in the world. We basically scanned 2,000 consumers to figure out what works and what doesn't work. And I hope you're sitting down when I tell you that the overall black and white answer was it does not work at all. In fact, what we learned is that most product placements and most sponsorships, like what you see behind me right now, is basically such a waste of money that it not only is something you forget, in fact, it deletes itself in the brain. So if you watch a brand like Coca-Cola throughout the day and is exposed in the wrong way, consumers actually delete the brand in the brain. It sounds like a scary horror movie if you happen to be an advertiser, but this is actually the truth we learned now. What we learned is this is all to do with how to place the brand. To put a logo up, like what we see behind, is not enough anymore. It has to be placed in a context, and a context which basically makes it relevant for our brain to store in the long-term memory. So what is the future going to be about in product placement and in sponsorships like this? Well, point number one, forget everything about using a logo as we see down there or behind me or at the Olympics, because that is not working. Instead, point number two, we're going to see that indirect sponsorship is working much better. That means to tell a story in an indirect way and make sure it merges into the overall storyline. That means if, for example, Coca-Cola is talking about refreshing themselves, they should have refresh yourself parties around the world. They should basically live what they're saying rather than just talk about it. Point number three is interesting. We have learned now from the study that indirect signals, that means the color red, the shape, the sound, whatever it may be, is actually more powerful than using a logo. In fact, when you use a logo, a warning disclaimer goes up in people's head and they're saying, oh my God, I'm being persuaded now to buy stuff. But if it's indirect signals, like just the roof size from McDonald's classic drive-in roof, then people actually are being affected much more. And that's what we learned from Project Biology. Again, I'll jump on a plane, but see you next week where I'm going to explore the truth and the lies about why we buy. All the fact is coming from Project Biology. See you then.
The Martin Lindstrom Video Report. New and innovative ways of building brands.